this noble task of representing His Excellency, the President for the Republic of Zambia, President Affiliation, who on account of national duty could not be with us here, but as usual, he is here through our presence. Let me recognize in our midst the presence of Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Honorable Felix Mutati, Minister for Technology, Honorable Douglas Sakalima, Minister for Education, the Secretary to Cabinet, the Secretary to the Treasury, chairpersons of service commissions, permanent secretaries, Your Worship, the Mayor of the City of Lusaka, service chiefs, heads of statutory bodies, the resident coordinator, United Nations System, members of the diplomatic corps, senior government officials, leaders of the trade unions, fellow public service workers, distinguished invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, may I kindly request all of us to stand and observe a minute of silence in honor of the late 60th President for the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwa, who passed on in South Africa on Thursday, 5th June 2025. 1 minute of silence. Thank you. Can take our seats. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Moving around various stands that we have been able to visit this morning, it is self-evident that the civil service is taking our country to the next level of national development. Congratulations. As government, we need you as civil service, in as much as you may need us, but for sustainable national development. I've also been gripped with attention, particularly when we visited the stand for the Vice President, to do with national honors and awards. And that the record we sit on right now is that from 1964 to date, our country in various categories of recognition and achievement has been recognizing, honoring, and awarding men at 90% of the awardees, only 10% women. Your government takes note of that, and herefrom change begins. Fellow public workers, Africa Public Service Day is an important day on the Union calendar. On this day, we celebrate the contributions of the public service to national development. The day also serves as a platform for knowledge exchange and promotion of best practice in the public service. The day calls upon all of us to reflect, renew, and rededicate our efforts to building public institutions that serve all citizens with integrity and fairness. It is also an occasion for members of the public to interact in a more relaxed manner with public service institutions and provide feedback on their performance and future expectations. Further, it is a time we recognize and appreciate our hard-working, dedicated public service workers who deliver service to our people regardless of location, social economic status, or ethnicity. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 Africa Public Service Day is being commemorated under the theme Enhancing the Agility and Resilience of Public Institutions to Achieve Equitable Governance and Rapidly Address Historical Service Delivery Gaps. This year's theme has 4 sub-themes. Number 1, strengthening public institutions to address historical inequalities and promote inclusivity. 2, legal and structural reforms to achieve equitable governance. 3, leveraging digitalization and enhance access to information and accountability. And 4, civil society advocacy and multi-stakeholder collaboration for inclusive governance. Fellow public service workers, the theme resonates with government's overarching or overall development agenda of achieving social economic transformation in this country. It is our conviction that citizen and community participation in development will foster equitable governance and address service delivery gaps. For instance, there is urgent need to develop our rural areas and uplift the living standards of the vulnerable in our society. The theme also underscores the need to strengthen public institutions to enhance their efficiency, effectiveness, agility, and resilience in service delivery. As government, we remain committed to ensuring that public institutions are equipped with capacities to adapt to emerging opportunities and challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, government is implementing various reforms to achieve equitable governance and address inequalities in service delivery. In this regard, the introduction of the free education policy in 2022 is a game changer. We have seen a significant increase in school enrollment from 4.3 million in 2020 to 6.5 million in 2024. Our country is on the move. To accommodate the new learners, we are constructing new schools and additional classroom blocks across the country. In addition, desks have been procured locally in an effort to ensure that no child sits on the floor. Further, more teachers are being recruited and deployed, especially in rural areas. Fellow public service workers, free education is more than a policy. It is a commitment made a commitment delivered. A commitment to our children, a commitment to a nation, a commitment to the future of our world, that no dream is too big and no background is too humble. The ongoing curriculum reform further reinforces our commitment to a responsive and inclusive education system. The new competence-based curriculum is equipping learners with relevant skills for agriculture, entrepreneurship, information and communication technologies, and climate resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, the country has made significant progress in strengthening public institutions to address historic inequalities and promote inclusivity. Central to the effort is government's robust decentralization agenda. In this regard, we have substantially increased the Constituency Development Fund from 249.6 million in 2021 to 5.6 billion in 2025. In addition, 13 functions have been transferred from central government to local authorities to ensure efficiency, effectiveness, and access to service by communities. These include district health services, agricultural extension services, and community development. Your government has also decentralized the Attorney General's chambers to all the provinces. Our aim is to have the Attorney General's chambers in all the districts across the country. This is enhancing access to justice as well as efficiency in contract management. The shift from historical centralized to a devolved government system allows for more equitable distribution of resources and greater citizens' participation in their governance. Ladies and gentlemen, in the health sector, government is committed to achieve universal health coverage. We are focusing on those of our people most at risk, such as pregnant women, children, the elderly, and persons living with disabilities. We have constructed over 1,200 health posts across the country. Further, we are constructing mothers' waiting shelters and maternity annexes. We continue to recruit and deploy nurses, midwives, doctors, and clinical officers, as well as other health-related staff. Over the past 3 years, more than 20,000 health workers have been recruited by your government. To improve access to essential medicines, health facilities across the country are being stocked with life-saving drugs. Fellow public service workers, in our unwavering and unflinching commitment to address inequalities, we have continued implementing social protection programs. Assistance must always reach to the most vulnerable in our society. Key programs being implemented include social cash transfer, which your government initiated out of the occurrence of the West drought in living memory, but is determined and committed to ensuring that even as we get out of this drought, that program continue to subsist, because it has brought relief to our people. Today, many citizens out there, beyond those in the public service like ourselves, also know and feel how it is to receive money from governments. That program, our government will ensure continues. These programs are changing lives, especially amongst the elderly, persons with disability, female-headed households, children living with extreme poverty, and the youth. We are progressively expanding the reach and coverage. Government is improving access to justice to address historical inequalities and promoting inclusivity in the dispensation of justice. In this regard, we have introduced mobile courts, legal aid services, and community-based paralegals across the country. These initiatives are fostering public trust and confidence in our judiciary and ensuring that even the most disadvantaged citizens seek justice timely. Ladies and gentlemen, corruption is inimical to equitable governance. It erodes the trust of our citizens in the public sector and undermines development efforts. To this effect, government is implementing the national policy on anti-corruption. The policy focuses on preventing corruption by addressing its root causes, increasing transparency, and ensuring accountability in both the public and the private sectors. We are determined to create a culture of honesty, fairness, and accountability in our institutions. And also, we are determined to encourage our citizens that we're a Christian nation. You can only harvest where you have sown. You cannot be wanting to harvest where you have not sown. And I must extend and indicate that in our quest as government to fight corruption, we beseech and seek your collaboration, effort, and support, that those of us who have been privileged to occupy public or political office, for that matter, or politically exposed, and indeed those of us who are related to us, should not and not be perceived to enjoy an immutable immunity to prosecution when we violate the law, that then it should be deemed and said that it is persecution. The two are different. We are sending a very clear message today that corruption will be blind to affiliation. The fight against corruption will be blind to affiliation. It will be blind to tribal connection. It will be blind to social status. It will be blind to N-ism. And that the government of President Hakainde Hichilema will go all the way, regardless, to fight this scourge so that the policies that we put in place, such as free education, such as expanded CDF, such as retention of meal allowances to the students here at the university where we are, can come to fruition, that money should go to deserving individuals and not those who are privileged or those elitists who are connected to corridors of power. We need to change the way we govern our country, that an average and ordinary citizen of this country should feel fairly and firmly represented by those of us